Welcome to Seeds of Change. This is my weekly series where I give you access to the themes, topics, sometimes struggles, challenges that my clients are going through in real time in our one on one coaching container. And then I get to give you insight into the tools and techniques and practices that I'm giving to them so that if you are dealing with any of the same things, you can apply these tools and practices to your life as well. Now, this week's a little bit different. I've just come home from Burning Man. And so the seeds or topics that I put out for you all to vote on are themes that came up for me during Burning Man. And I wanted to share a little bit about my personal experience there and the tools and techniques that worked really well for me in that environment. It was my first time going to Burning Man. Um, and how using these tools and practices really created the experience that I had. So, first, I want to start with the actual physical practice and mechanics of the theme y'all voted on, which is opening your heart and facing your fears, which really was my mantra, which really was the phrase I came back to over and over and over again while I was there, even leading up to being there. Open my heart and face my fears, which is really the phrase that I leaned on over and over and over again, even before I got to the playa, got to Burning Man. This was the phrase that I used that set me up for being there. And then while I was there, and you know what? I'm still using it now. So opening my heart, facing my fears, opening your heart, facing your fears. This is such a juicy one. And I just want to start with a little meditation to get the physiological practice of doing this in your body. So for me, I really love hand on body. So I'm going to put one hand on my chest and one hand for me right now on my solar plexus. You're welcome to do the same. We're going to close down the eyes. And begin by just tracing your breath. So noticing the inhale moving through your nostrils and the exhale moving through your nostrils. Noticing how your body rises and falls on the inhale and the exhale. And noticing where in your body your breath lives. So as you inhale, are you noticing it in your chest, in your belly, in both? This moment isn't about trying to change where the breath is. It's about noticing where it already lives. And from this place, I want you to begin to feel into your sits bone, your tailbone. Your sits bones are under your butt cheeks, those bones there, your tailbone at the base of your spine. And really feeling into the contact here. You're sitting on a cushion, a chair, the couch, the floor. Feeling this point of contact or these points of contact. This is your root chakra, your seat of safety. So we're going to be here for a moment, just taking some deep breaths and really feeling the ground beneath us here, grounding into our sense of safety. So breathing right into the meeting point of your tailbone or your sits bones and whatever you're sitting on. On the inhale, really feeling that space expand. And on the exhale, grounding, rooting, sending your attention down into the earth. And then from this place, we're going to start bringing our breath up our spine. So you can imagine the breath traveling from your tailbone up through your spine, right through the back of your heart. And just allowing your breath to rise and fall along the spine. From the tailbone to the base of the neck. Or up through the head, however much or little you want this breath to travel up and down your spine. And in the movement of this breath, if you can feel the containment of your spine, the solidity of your spine, the strength of your spine, this being your axis. Just like the earth has its axis, your spine is your axis. Feeling your breath move up and down the solidity of your axis. And then on your next inhale, you're going to let that breath come up through the base of your spine and land in your heart space. And if your hand is still over your heart, you can think about breathing now with your inhale and your exhale into your heart space, right where your hand is. Feeling the rise and fall of your chest. And breathing softly here. Feeling the tenderness of your heart space. place of love and compassion for self and others. Feeling the sweetness of your own hand meeting your own chest. And seeing if you can soften into this space. And just staying mindful of your spine, so not collapsing or contracting here, keeping your spine straight and active while softening the front of your heart. Just being here for a few more moments and feeling the juxtaposition of having a strong, steady spine and a soft, open heart. And when you're ready, just giving yourself a little squeeze, a little hug, a little thank you. This incredibly wise body has so much intelligence waiting to be accessed, utilized. Final squeeze, or keep squeezing and pause this video. And when you're ready, bringing your eyes open. So this is a practice that you can do whether you have a few minutes or once you've kind of gotten the feeling of it in your body. This is something that you're able to access in a moment. So this feeling of strong spine, right? Steady access, access to your axis. And then cultivating this soft, open heart. So this is really, really how I moved through my time at Burning Man, where there is infinite possibility at any given moment, and the ability to be invited into situations of all shapes, sizes, and colors at any given moment, and how to know when to say yes and how to know when to say no. And what I realized for myself in the both the lead up to Burning Man and while being there, and maybe you will identify with this or not, but I have a really strong protective mechanism, which is saying no and closing off as a way to protect myself from fear of the unknown, which is probably one of my biggest fears. And what I noticed about even my decision to go to Burning Man, which I've written about in a newsletter and it's on my website, um, and a lot of decisions along the way, Uh, there was I'll share the story of even my decision to go to Burning Man, and then I'll share a few more, while I was there. But even my decision to go started with a yes. It started with an open heart, and I was a yes to going. And then I started learning about all the logistics and everything that was required to get me to Burning Man. And I pretty immediately closed off my heart and it said no. I was like, "Thank you very much. I have 5 weeks to do this. It's not enough time. I will go next year." I reached out to all the people I was talking to, and basically said, "I'm out. I'm a no." And in that moment, or shortly thereafter, after some temporary relief of like, "Ah, I don't have to take on this enormous thing." Shortly after that, I felt like a kid who had had something that they really wanted taken away from them, and I didn't like it. And I recognized that my no was out of fear and overwhelm, and actually not out of a deeper yearning from my heart that I really wanted to be there. And it was really aligned with my intention for this year to expand and to live in my essence and to meet new people and have new experiences. And the the no was just fear of the unknown, and fear about, how is this all going to happen, and how am I going to make it work. And so this theme continued to come up for me. Once I got over, I decided, yes, I'm going, and I got done everything required to get there. Even when I showed up, I could feel that, as people invited me to do things, my first response was often a no. And I had heard about Burning Man, just say yes, just say yes, just say yes. And it was really an exercise in me having to have that come up. And sometimes it was verbalized, like I'd say, no, thank you. And then I'd have to catch it. And sometimes it was just the feeling of no, and I was able to catch it before I even verbalized. Either way, what I recognized is when that feeling of no came up, I really had to ask myself, is this a no? Because I actually think that I'm in some kind of real danger, right? That something really bad, my safety could actually be, my life could actually be threatened in the situation. And in every single case, the answer was no. No, I'm not in any physical danger. I'm not actually being threatened by anything. I'm having fear. I'm afraid. I don't know what's on the other side of this, right? And there's just so many experiences at Burning Man where and life where you just don't know what's on the other side of the thing that you're saying yes or no to. And so my constant practice was I would literally say, especially if I had said the no out loud already, I would say to the person, could you ask me that again?" And in doing so, they would ask me again, and I would feel the no come up, and I'd ask myself the question, is this really a no? Or do I need to open my heart and face my fear of the unknown or the fear of whatever the thing was? And this practice really, really, truly changed my experience. It created incredible opportunities. It it created strings of events that never would have happened had I said no to the very first thing that I was offered. And then, what is that, sliding doors or butterfly effect, right? My whole day would have looked completely different. But by saying yes and continuing to do this practice of opening my heart and facing my fears, I had the most spectacular time. No danger was had. I mean, I have a few bruises, and I, was climbing on things and bumping my shins and fell off my bike once, but um nothing to report home about that I was in any actual danger. It was my own mind and my mind's desire to protect me and to keep me safe. And, there's such a mind-body connection of, my mind being like, "Nope, we don't know what's on the other side of that," and so it gives that signal to my body, but when I go the other way, when I actually ask my body, "Hey, is this an opportunity where I can open my heart and I can face my fear, the fear that's in my head, what's actually possible?" And so I invite you the next time that somebody invites you to something or asks you, or even yourself, you're just presented with an opportunity and your first instinct is no. Check in. Is this really something that will harm me? Or am I afraid of something here? And would it actually serve me to open my heart and to face this fear and what's possible on the other side? And through that initial practice that we did of finding your anchor, right? Your anchor, finding your access point, right? That's the thing that's like, okay, we have a strong back. We can trust ourselves, right? There's so much. I've spent so much of my life cultivating a sense of trust in myself, and that anchor, that being able to root into my center, really is the thing that then allows me to open my heart and have a soft, open heart to the world, right? And that allows me to experience new things. And so, doing that practice, you can play that little meditation and keep anchoring in your body and softening and opening your heart and feeling where you really have your own back. And that really can be the catalyst for you being able to trust the universe and trust in the unknown and the unseen a bit more and see what happens and see what magical situations you can get yourself into. And so, yeah, the invitation is there. Are you willing to open your heart and face your fears and see what kind of magic is on the other side? So if you have any questions or if you want to practice more, or if you have a situation that you feel like might be one of these situations where you feel that, yes, maybe there is a desire to open your heart and your face your fears, but you're just not able to do it on your own yet, let me know, like drop a comment. I'm happy to help assist in this. It was just such a powerful practice and experience for me that I really want people to experience more of this in their lives and in the world and pass it on. And yeah, living in a world where people have strong spines and open, soft hearts is definitely a world that I want to live in. So open your heart, face your fears, and see what magic is on the other side.